And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave him those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up, and when he was 20 years old, he put on those garments. And Nimrod became strong when he put on those garments, and God gave him might and strength.
Who gave him might and strength?
God gave him might and strength.
And who gave him might and strength?
God gave him might and strength.
So the Most High had to be with Nimrod, which if Nimrod was the king of Babylon, then that got to be the Most High's empire. Read.
And he was a mighty hunter in the earth. Yea, he was a mighty hunter in the field. And he hunted the animals, and he built altars, and he offered upon them to the animals before the Most High. And Nimrod strengthened himself, and he rose up amongst his brethren, and he fought the battles of the brethren against all their enemies around about. And the Most High delivered all the enemies out of the brethren in his hands.
And who delivered his enemies?
And the Most High delivered all the enemies of his brethren in his hands. And the Most High prospered him from the time to time in his battles, and he reigned upon the earth.
And so who profited him from his battles?
The Most High did.
Okay, so this is actual proof that the Babylon was the Most High's. The first kingdom after the flood. So I just wanted to get into this because it's 4 chapters. I want you to read this on your own. We can't read all this. We got a lot to cover. But I posted the 4 chapters in a PDF to give you understanding that the Most High had his hands in everything, including Babylon. Now, you will read further in chapter 8, 9, and 10 that Nimrod turned from the Most High. He worshiped other gods. He tried to fight the Most High. He built the Tower of Babel. Abraham comes on the scene, break the gods that they was worshiping, and it just gives you a little more understanding of what was going on. But I just want to specifically touch that part, that Babylon was just as much as the kingdom, just as much as the Most High's kingdom as Israel was. So no, we're not keeping Babylonian holy days or Babylonian Sabbaths. Babylon got the same knowledge from the Most High that they got from Israel. That Israel got from the Most High. It's just that Nimrod chose to be a stiff neck and go left. Also, if you read further from these chapters 7 to 11, Babylon never kept the Sabbath. It never referred to Babylon keeping the Sabbath, which is a contradiction to the research that we just read that was posted on Wikipedia by Esau. Wikipedia belongs to the Edomites. So, though they was right that Babylon kept the lunar cycle, they kept time using the lunar cycle, which I do believe is correct, they never kept the Sabbath. It never mentioned them keeping the Sabbath, even though it was in the beginning of creation, ordained on the 7th day. Now, I'm going to prove that later in this teaching, and we want to find out who did keep the Sabbath, of what generations of people ordained and specifically pointed by the Most High. So I like to do less talking and more of the scriptures. What's up, it's your man Solomon DeVal Israel, my man Gabar. We back on the scene. Just gave you the first part of the teaching. We're going to do a recap on it for those that's just coming in or trying to figure out what's going on. We opened up covering who was the end of the world, which we knew Esau is the end of the world. We needed to get into who was Esau, who was the name of his empire, and what were some of the things that he might have changed. So we went into some articles as well before we got into that information. We went into some articles that was posted in the PDF about what the Jewish people admitted about setting the true Sabbath and calendar to a side, as well as to what was the Hebrews doing as far as keeping time and keeping the lunar cycle Sabbaths. We also went into the origin of calendars. We found out that the Romans took down the Israelites, conquered the city of Jerusalem in Israel, 70 AD. From that time, Esau took power, changed a lot of things that was happening in the world. From Daniel 7 to 25, changed time and laws. From there, he made his own calendar, named it with his own god deities, Saturday through Sunday. Gave some deities for the month, January through December, as well as completely wiped out counting the days from the lunar cycle and changing evening to the morning, and started the first day with morning to the evening. And that, all that has to do with keeping time, and you will find out in the second part of this teaching. So I just want to do a recap, touch on a little bit what we spoke about. As you see through the PDF that's being distributed for you to follow on, there's several web links for you to review and read the research yourself. Look at how the Romans changed things. Look at how they started the new calendars. Look at how now we found out what the ISO is, which they do an international conglomerate of information to put all the countries on one concordance as far as communicating dates and time. So, read through that. We also found out that if we were in today's time using the Gregorian calendar, if you're using Saturday for your Sabbath, you're using the Gregorian calendar. You're using Romans calendar. We found out where it was reformed in 1582 from the Julian. We found out that the Julian was a reform in 45 BC from the original Roman. So, all these links and researches in the PDF. Don't want to take up too much time. I just want to recap, and now we're going to move on. With that being said, the second part of this teaching is getting into the way of how the Most High truly kept time. The information and knowledge that was passed down to Moses in writing that was to be done for the Israelites for their Sabbaths, feasts, holy days, timekeeping, birthdays, etc. So what we're going to do is I want y'all to scroll down on your PDF, pick up from, it should be page 14, number 2, and the title is, What Did the Most High Say About the Sabbaths, Days, and Years? 3 question marks. But let's get into that. Grab your holy Bibles. And I want you to turn to Genesis 1 and 14.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament, and of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and to let them be a sign, and for seasons, for days and years.
Read that for me one more time. Because this, and the reason why I'm having them read the scripture again, because this scripture has been so widely misinterpreted. So we're going to really get deep down because, as you notice, it's in Genesis. It's in the first chapter. It's within the realm of creation. So I'm going to have my brother read that again, and we're going to definitely pull out word for word.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament.
Let there be lights in the firmament. So, if you look on the teaching, we identify key words